Okay, and what are the age ranges of the kids that you work with?
Oh, it's generally 13 to 18, but it has been like 12 to 25.
That's really good.
But generally for community centre ages.
So what do you think the council could do to sort of stop the sort of more vandalism side of things? Because I know they've set up some legal graffiti walls in certain areas.
Have they?
Yeah, there's one in Caerphilly.
Oh, yeah,
and there's one in Sevenoaks Park as well.
Yeah.
One in Grangetown.
That wasn't set up by the council, but yeah.
The Grangetown one?
Yeah. That was set up by Ropes Foundation.
Oh, yeah, no, I read that on the internet.
Yeah, and we and a couple of other guys sort of help do the graffiti jam every year.
Okay.
So that's kind of sought permission from the council. Actually, it's not the council. The council run that park, but the wall belongs to Network Rail or Wales and West or whoever it is. So yeah, but yeah, what they could do is setting up like legal graffiti walls is a good scheme. Getting artists involved, like myself and like other people, is good, and they do that. You know, some councils are doing that because there's a few of us who do these sort of projects, and it's like, you know, a lot of kids take a lot from it. You always got your kids who just want to vandalise. Yeah. That is a shame, and it does like.
Have you managed to sort of change any of those sort of kids' minds at all into more artistic strains?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's not so much. I think it's more just encouraging them to like think about to have the confidence to do it, because sometimes it's just a confidence issue. It's like you're 15, you're 14, you're all mouth, aren't you? You're like you're a graffiti artist, but it's quite a daunting thing to actually try and do a good piece when you don't know how, because your mates will end up laughing at you or whatever, so it's a lot easier to go and write your name. And you'd be surprised how, like, even just through doing that, like, talent can kind of build a little bit, because, you know, like us and like a few other people, you do get bored of it, and you're like, okay, there is more to this. So, you know, and I think the kids who are just into vandalism will just grow out of it and not bother anymore. But it's a difficult one, yeah. What was your question?
It wasn't a question so much as an observation. Just.
Yeah. But I think with it, like, a lot of kids sort of are just into the idea, and like, you know, to go and show them how to do it practically, and then say to them, look, all you need to do is get like an 8x4 board, they cost a tenner from B&Q, whack it in your back garden, paint it white and go. You know, take a photo of it, paint over it, take a photo of it, paint over it, you know, and it doesn't take long to kind of get.
Have you spoken to any of their parents about what they're doing? What's their attitude? Do they like?
Not so much from the community centres. A lot of the community centres themselves see a big improvement, and they're like, wow, they're really, like, a lot of our kids are really expressing interest to do more of this. Come back, you know, so you get like recurring workshops and stuff, which is good. There are, I know, like, young people around the area who, you know, are into tagging or into graph or, you know, this and that, and I know their parents, which is cool, and they're really supportive, you know, which is good. And that's all it takes, really, is like an open-minded sort of parent to support their kids, and their kids will probably do well.
Okay. And how do you think the graffiti scene in Cardiff compares to other places?
Smaller. Yeah, everyone knows everyone. But it's really strong. Like, there's a lot of really good artists. I think per head, there's like a lot of talent in Cardiff. Definitely, there's some really good writers. There's not many of us who sort of do it full time, but I think, which is good being in Wales, because, you know, from my point of view, as it's my livelihood, like, I get a lot of work because I haven't got a whole lot of competition, which is good. If I lived in London or Bristol, I would have that competition, so it would be a bit more difficult. But in other ways, like, you've got more opportunities outside. But it doesn't, like, being in Cardiff, personally, it's wicked. Like, it's a wicked base, and it doesn't stop you from being global. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people in Cardiff sort of get stuck in small town mentality and, like, think it's all about Cardiff and become king of their town. Whereas, like, you know, it's a really good place to actually travel from as well. Being Welsh, like, you know, there is support from you, you know, when you're in the minority in a way, being a graffiti artist or something. So yeah, it's wicked, and there are some really good, like, things going on. Had a commission last year, which is turned into an ongoing commission, possibly over the next couple of years now, in Bargoed with Caerphilly County Borough Council, and they set up. They initially put out an application for applications for artists to get in touch to basically doing a regeneration on Bargoed High Street, which was to paint all the shop shutters on Bargoed High Street. And even in their thing, they said like graffiti will not be art of graffiti nature will not be considered. But like a lot of stuff I do is a little bit more like backgrounds, full background scenes integrated with abstract letters. It's like developed way out of sort of traditional graffiti. So I phoned them. I said, look, you know, I do this sort of stuff. It's not traditional graffiti, but it's all aerosol, so check it out. And I also knew another artist that got shortlisted. So me, him, and these guys from London got shortlisted for the job. And it was like it was a really big job, like a lot, sort of big undertaking in quite a bit of time, but we were also sort of under a certain time constraint. So me and the guy I know got shortlisted kind of then pitched together. We all interviewed, and they said, well, that was wicked nice. You know, we spoke and said, would we be able to share in that project and putting into it? So we did, and they accepted it and got it. And basically, it's like, you know, to a degree, it's community. Like, it's got an element of, we can't just go and do what we want on the shutters, but we can also go and do what we want on the shutters, as long as it fits within the community, enhances the community or the site in which it's at, you know, and is generally positive and nice to look at. And that was wicked, and basically the response from that was incredible. Like, you know, we got to know the whole of Bargoed basically by standing on their high street for 2 weeks, or 2 months. And from that, like, a lot more work has come, you know, like sort of private work, private commissions, and also the people who gave us that job, the like council of Caerphilly or whatever, have then looking outside of Bargoed and moving it into other parts of Caerphilly, and you know, basically giving us the free rein now to go and look at sites ourselves and propose them ourselves, even if it includes like multi-storey buildings, getting a load of scaff and big projects and pitching it to them, and they potentially find the money for it. So that's really positive, because
it just seems that graffiti is becoming a bit more accepted.
Yeah, definitely.
Less, because I think some, maybe particularly older people, they're a bit afraid of what it signifies, I think, or what it used to signify.
Yeah, definitely. But you'd be surprised in like this thing with Bargoed, and like, you know, there's a lot of support. It's pretty much 99% positive, even from the older guys. You know, I think it's just because it's presented as a little bit more accessible way to people.
Looks more like art.
Yeah, and it I don't know, sort of enhances the environment rather than takes away from it. You know, even when we were 15 and painting down Haley Park, which was the legal place, and it was like, you know, we were learning our craft back then, and sort of, you know, slowly getting better and starting to produce some nice sort of traditional stuff. And we had like a 95-year-old woman come by, used to walk by every day and try and give us money for paint, you know, stuff, which is pretty good, you know. Two like 15-year-olds with hoods up with spray cans, like.
That wouldn't happen anymore, though, I shouldn't think.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'd be surprised. So it's definitely like public perception's definitely changed to graffiti, because I wouldn't make a living otherwise, you know. So that's definitely a good thing. And being in Wales is a good thing. And coming back to Wales after Sharon is a good thing. You know, working outside. We do a lot of like, we tour full time pretty much during the summer.
Oh really? Where do you go? Just in the UK, or? Yeah,
mostly like festivals. We've got our own big tent, which is like sort of capacity of 100 people. We run like a sound system. We get a budget from the festival to construct and build like 100, 150 foot walls and paint them. So we'll be there the week before the festival.
Oh, cool.
Building, painting. And
which festival? Have you done Glastonbury?
Yeah, I did Glastonbury for 2 years. Didn't do it last year because we went up north to Lincolnshire. But yeah, basically that's like, again, like, and it's sort of trying to promote holistic graffiti, so a little bit less urban, and putting like environmental issues into it. So, you know, we recycle all the cans through like graffiti sculpture, you know, that we use, and we sort of work like collaborative work with willow artists, like willow weavers, and basically got a bit of a core crew that now travel with us, and you know, sort of try and kind of push the boundaries of, I don't know, holistic graffiti, and